Right, I want to talk about something that has happened on this project. It's caused a huge amount of problems, and it's about time that I just came out and said it, man.
Right, I'm just connecting you.
Time to book some viewing strips, come on.
Excellent.
Hiya, how's it going? I called yesterday regarding booking a viewing for it, and I was expecting a call back. Just want to see if... What the fuck? Hello? Unbelievable! Just hung up. My name's Scott McPherson. I'm not sure who it was I spoke to. It was a gentleman, I'm not sure.
Let me just check.
Oh, sorry, Thursday. I thought today was Wednesday. Thursday, yeah.
No problem.
Just waiting for the vendor. If you're selling a house, I want to give you a wee top tip. Let the agent show people around, if you can. Because I've noticed that when I try and phone the agent and they have to contact the seller, it's always like a 2 or 3 day drag. By then I might have got an offer accepted, you know? So I think you've just lost a sale potentially. In this market, you're probably going to get a sale anyway, but not every house sells quickly, you know? So be on the ball, get your shit together. Right, now I'm going to follow up with another agent about an offer I submitted, because it's been on the table too long.
Yes, how can I help?
Hi, how's it going? My name's Scott McPherson, and I submitted an offer on one of your properties that I viewed last week. I was just wanting to see if I could hear back today, because I've submitted an offer on a couple other properties, and I have to hear back today, and it's the first one that gets accepted is the one I'm going to move forward with, so I'm not sure how long this offer can stay on the table.
McPherson.
Yeah, it's a cash offer.
Okay, no problem. I'll send this now. I'm going to call you back today as soon as possible, okay?
Alright, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, bye.
Thanks, bye. Now, why did I say that? Because you'll have noticed that there are best and finals littered across the board. Hi, I'm putting an offer in of 130,000, and they're like, well, it's best. We need your best and finals because there's so much like demand on this property. And what you'll find is you end up negotiating against yourself, which is extremely frustrating. And you're sat in your living room, you're going like, oh, I've offered 130, but maybe I should offer 132.5. I'll up to 135. Then you're sat at 140, and all that agent had to do was say, best and finals, please. And they've just got another 10 grand out of you. Now, my question is, how legit is that best and final shit? Not saying that agent done it, by the way, but I'm just going on a wee rant. How legit is that? If they know they've only got to say 3 words, best and final, then and get another 10 grand out of you, 5 grand or something, why wouldn't you say it on every call? You'd be trained to say that, you know? Why wouldn't you? You don't know the competition. You could be the only bastard that's fucking offering on it, you know, and negotiating against yourself. Now, if you stick to your guns and you're like, nope, 130 is it, that is it, I'm not going to go against it, fair enough. But what I like to do is switch it back, because if I'm looking for one deal at the moment, and I put in offers on 4 properties, I will tell the truth and say, look, I put on offers on 4 properties across 4 different agents or whatever. 4 properties I've been offered on. The first one to get back with me with an accepted offer, that is the one I'm going with. So it is my best and final, but I don't know how long for. They could call me today and say your offer's been accepted and it's off the table. So let your seller know that this offer could be gone very soon. And that is the truth. It is the absolute truth, because you don't want to be running around negotiating against yourself and then making emotional based investments. If you put offers in on 4 properties and you can only buy one, you say to the agents, look, it's the first one that gets back to me. And then they go, oh shit, we want this sale. We're not going to try this fucking best and final. And it's the truth. You're flipping it back. The power struggle is now on their side. The ball is in their court, rather than the whole fucking best and final carry on. My God. I hate it. Anyway, I am back, and I was off for the last week because I had the flu. However, it feels good to be back. I had to spend every ounce of my energy surviving the week and keeping the projects afloat and finding new properties. So I was doing viewing still, I was submitting offers, you know, deal finding. Oh, who am I getting phoned by? 0800. All right, I lost some train of thought. I was on a call to Virgin Media. They didn't set up the Virgin Media socket to plug the internet to. So that's getting done tomorrow. The big fucking week-long problem solved just like that. Buzzing. So I'm trying to think what I was like. When I was sick, I was looking for deals, doing all that deal finding and stuff. That was what I was doing, and that is what you'll have to do if you're building a company. You haven't outsourced anything just yet because you're still building, and you have to do everything. So all the problems come to you, and all the problems have to be solved by you, and you have to be active. I was doing site visits, viewings and all that stuff whilst like horrifically ill, just feeling dog shit. So that's it. That's what you have to do, man. You have to suck it up, fucking get on with it. This is the life you chose. And crack on, man. Crack on. Because you can't get into this shit and expect it to be easy. This is not easy. And you got to do stuff that's difficult. And remember, this is what hard feels like. This is what you signed up for. But if you zoom out long enough, don't think about the little bits. If you zoom out long enough and start thinking to yourself, look, I'll sacrifice this feeling right now, my time right now. I'll exchange it right now for decades in the future. You know, sacrifice my 20s to thrive in my 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the mindset that I've got in right now. And to be honest, I don't really see much of sacrificing going on because I fucking love what I do. The only time I really sacrifice is when I'm ill, you know, feel like I'm sacrificing my health, or if something tragic happens in like family or friends or something, you know, like that's, and I still have to work, you know, like that's when the real sacrifice starts to come out, you know. Not going out at the weekend is not a sacrifice. It's just not a sacrifice. If it means you're healthier, if it means you're happier, if it means you're better off financially, you know, all of these things, you get better sleep, better quality time, then that's not a sacrifice, that's a reward. So, little rant over there. Anyway, I hope I get that call back. I'm going to book more viewings. Got a bit of a chaotic day. Got a meeting with a prospect of a client, showing him around our projects, and let's hope it goes well. Come on. All right, we are at Project Western. Let's go upstairs. Painting's been done almost, and you can see it's all starting to form, you know. It's coming together. You can see the end is near, and about 3 weeks left of work, maybe. Let's see what else. Yeah. It's the top floor. All right, let's go downstairs because I want to chat about something and inform you of what's really going on now. Right, I want to talk about something that has happened on this project. It's caused a huge amount of problems, and it's about time that I just came out and said it, man. So you can see no one's here. And it's midday, which means the build team that was on this is gone. They're gone. I can't say why just yet because it is an active situation, maybe down the line, but you know what? It's not important. What's important is how we're solving it, how we're overcoming it, because it's a nasty situation. And put my phone on silent. And all it means is that's another problem to solve, innit? So basically, a few weeks ago, or a couple of weeks ago, the builder left this project. So I immediately had like a huge problem to solve. I had to inform my client of what's happened and had to inform, we got development finance on this project and we had to inform them. And basically, I wanted to solve it before going to the development finance company. So it didn't mean waiting weeks to tell them. We told them like the day after. However, I told my client straight away, and I was like, I think I've got a solution. And my solution was reaching out to all of my network and finding a builder who I already knew. So I reached out to him, but I wanted to reach out to my network in case he was busy and occupied. But I reached out to a builder that I knew that I trust, and I reached out to my network. Now I had suggestions come in, and one of my really close friends, he suggested the same builder that I reached out to. And that builder came across, viewed it, and basically put together a quote the same week, and we got the quote for the remaining amount. Now, the Thursday was when, or the Wednesday was when I reached out to the builder. The Thursdays was when I told the drawdown company, and Wednesday was when I told the client. And by the Sunday, we had somewhat of a quote for this place. And over the next week, we're ironing out all the details, and now the build team is going to be starting hopefully this week. I think contracts are signed or about to be signed. So within a couple of weeks, build team gone, like that, no warning, and a new build team in who I know will finish the job to a standard that I like to see, right? So I know it's not fun just listening to me ramble and being like, how can I understand what's going on if you won't tell me, Scott? I get that, but obviously I can't say what's really going on. However, I wanted to highlight the fact that in that situation, you can be cracking on with your business, or you've got a lot of projects going on and you're already like full of problems, and then a huge black swan event comes across, right? How you react to it is what will make or break you, man. It'll make or break you. I immediately said to myself, okay, how are we going to solve this? How are we going to solve this? You know, I'll throw a tantrum later on. I'll do whatever I need to do later on. Right now, we have a huge problem that we need to solve, and we need to solve it now. So that's what we got to doing, and we solved it very quickly. It's why networking, building relationships with friends and all that stuff, and other people in the trade, that is extremely important, because you never know when you're going to need them or they'll need you. So I always help people as much as I can, and in return, people help me, and that's the proof of the pudding, what happened there, right? So if I was a massive arsehole and I didn't help anyone, and I thought, oh, my ego's the biggest thing in the world, and I could do this all by myself, then I wouldn't have had a network to lean on, you know? So important to have a network, important to have a friendship group, important to have people that you help and then they help you, you know? Givers gain, I like that. So that's one thing. Another thing is when you react in that situation, like I just touched on there, I was like, okay, we've got a problem to solve. It's another thing, like I said to myself, was this is going to make the story even better. And, you know, the classic, this is what hard feels like. This is what happens. How you react in a situation makes or breaks everything. You know, you can throw a tantrum. You can start fucking going crazy and blaming. That's that person's fault. It's that person's fault. It's that person's fault. That happens. I saw it in this situation. Don't be that person. Don't be that person. Oh, well, it's their fault. Oh, it's their fault. Oh, if you've done this and if you've done that, you know, don't be that person. Be cool, calm, and collected, and be the person that focuses on getting the problem solved, because that's how you get out of the situation. Point fingers later on, right? In this situation, there's nothing anyone could have done. We could never have known what could have happened, so it's impossible. However, be the person that ultimately solves the problem. Be that go-to person, because then the people rely on you, people will trust you, and they start seeing what you're capable of doing when the chips are down. You know what I do this for clients, I do this for people where I do the end-to-end portfolio building service. It's not immune to problems. My job is to reduce the risk of problems occurring and manage them when they do occur, because they will occur. So people look at me when a black swan event happens, I'm the person they go to. So I like being that person. You know, I was a lifeguard before, bottom of the chain, not important, you know, easily disposable, a number on a payroll sheet among hundreds of others. And now I'm the go-to person that solves all the problems, and that gives me purpose, and I fucking love that. So when the situation happens, it's not a matter of I feel sick and started to cry and all that stuff. I love being the person that is going to solve this. I helped my client, I helped the drawdown company, I made sure that we were all working together. It's not like, oh, I'm the best and they done nothing. Everyone chipped in and worked together. We worked as a unit and we got the thing back on track. But it's a shit situation, the fallout of it, the knock-on effect. When a black swan event happens, for example, earlier this year, I'm not going to touch into it again, but if you go on my videos, like you'll see what happened earlier this year. It was a huge black swan event. It was fucking horrific. The knock-on effect, it doesn't last days, it lasts fucking months, sometimes years. So like there's like a big ripple effect that's going on right now, and lots of people are affected by the situation. So my job is to manage it as much as possible, focus on this project and make sure it gets back on track, but also make sure that although I'm not responsible for a lot of it, I want to make sure that everyone has the best at the situation. Why am I saying all of this? You know, my very vague yet specific speech. There's been many times this year where I've been tested as a human, tested as a man, tested as a business owner, tested project manager, tested like in ways that I would never ask for. But if it wasn't for these moments, I wouldn't be who I am today. If it wasn't for what's happened throughout these projects and before these projects and all these, some would call traumatic events, but I call them like black swan events. If it wasn't for those events, I wouldn't have been able to have the confidence and the ability to handle what happened a few weeks ago, right? With pure confidence. I know I'm going to solve this. All I've got to do is figure out how, and that's it. That's what I thought to myself, and that comes through experience, man. So when you're going through problems, when you're going through shit, you will be going through shit. I'm telling you, you are not immune to it. Just remember that it's good, because the more shit you go through, the more problems you solve, the more experience you get, the more miles on the clock you get, that is going to build more confidence when the next problem comes along. Because when the next problem comes along, you're going to be like, well, I went through all of that shit. Of course I'm going to get through this shit. I just need to figure out how to solve it. And if you can't figure out on the spot how to solve it, reach out to your network. Put your ego to the side and reach out to the people that you trust who may or may not have been in this situation. You know, that's what got me through a lot of the problems that I've solved. I've reached out to my network, the people that you see on my Instagram, whether it's on my stories, on my posts, on my Facebook posts, the people that I surround myself with, they're all property investors. They're all like builders, tradesmen, like they're all people who I can help and they help me. And although we're ultimately friends, when the chips are down, we rely on each other and we help each other. That's what's key. That's what's crucial, man. So a little bit of a rant. I know I've got a different trim. I'm wearing different clothes. The first clip was recorded yesterday. That's if I kept it in. But just remember what's important, man. Just remember, when the chips are down, you've got to respond in a way that you're proud of, that is calculated, that's concise, that is on purpose, and you've got to think a few steps ahead. Don't get emotional. I've seen a lot of people get emotional in situations like this. Fuck this, fuck you, and you don't, if you do this, you know. Objective. Leave the emotions for later once the situation is resolved. This project has hit the client hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I'm not going to be running around like, oh, we solved it, but it's all like perfectly fine now. It's added expenses, what's happened. It's added the money left in. This is what can happen. So if you're looking to do numbers on a deal, if you're like, I'm going to secure this deal, and as long as nothing goes wrong, and I'm using every penny available in my bank account just to get the deal with no contingency across the line, then if a black swan event like happened just here or on the other two projects that have happened on, then you're fucked. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Unless you can immediately raise funds to help you out, don't be running around acting like these things can't happen. You can't prepare for the absolute worst in every deal, because then you'll never secure a deal because it's infinitely worse. However, if you say have £100,000 and it costs you £100,000 to do this deal, then if anything goes wrong, what are you going to do? Yeah, you might have a bit of a contingency pot with the development finance, but if you don't have that, or if you go over that, which I've seen, then prepare for that, prepare for that. This project is one of those ones where it has gone over. It's been extremely frustrating. It's gone over the timescale and it's gone over the budget, like money left in. And it's extremely frustrating and it's sickening, but I will do a deep dive video into it in the future as to where it went wrong, without going too far into detail, because it's real people at the end of the day. This isn't a fucking acting TV show. This is real, so I'm not going to start name dropping and shit, but there's a lot of lessons to be learned, and a few lessons I've just covered there. You can hear it in my voice. I am obviously stressed a bit. I do get stressed. I do get down, but that doesn't stop me from working. I'll be stressed and work. I feel shit and work. I'll be exhausted and work. And then when the problem's solved, when it's all back up and running, I'm not saying like no other problems will be there. However, that's when I'll just process it all. I'm not saying that's healthy, don't take that as advice. I'm just saying what works for me, man. And I love being the person that is the go-to in all this situation. It probably strokes my own ego a little bit, you know what I mean? So listen, I hope this was like a bit of an unprepared speech. I just walked around and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to record it, I'm going to say something. And I hope you can learn a couple things from this ongoing situation. I'll never name drop what's going on in this situation. All I'll do is share the lessons that I've learned as a person and as a business owner and as a project manager for this build and other builds. All right. So yeah, build team should be back, or should be starting soon. We've got other projects on the go, and I hope this somewhat helps someone out there. And if you are going in a situation, if you're in a situation where the project's grinded to a halt, whether it's the build team, whether it's the finance, whether it's something like a black swan event, whatever you interpret that to be, get in touch, man. Get in touch on the Instagram DM, comment or something. I'll see what I can do to help, because I rely on my network a lot sometimes to help me, and I'm never shy to ask questions, and I don't want you to be shy either. So I'm not saying I can help everyone, but I'll see what I'll try and do something. See what I can do. Maybe it's like a voice note, maybe it's like a phone call, and I'll just say, here's what I've done in that situation. I hope it helps, or here's what you could possibly do. Because I don't want you thinking you're alone. It's a very lonely journey. Doing this, you're surrounded by people, but it can be very lonely, and I don't want you thinking that you're alone. And I ain't some sort of Gandhi where I'm here singing Kumbaya for everyone. But at the same time, you can reach out to me, man. You can reach out to me. And this is it. And that's that. So I'm back on the YouTube grind, back on social media. That's what I put social media to a side, and I had the flu, got an offer accepted for me and Lauren, our first ever house. Forgot to put that in here. And handling this situation among many others. So, all right, I'm back. The next video should be a site day visit video with the sexy music montages, the numbers, the figures, the progress, the status updates. So if you want to see that, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.